Every time I try to do the countdown, it never works out. Because like the 1 is left off intentionally because it's like you get the 3 and the 2 so that you get the timing in between them, but nobody ever does it. And now I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm not gonna start a new recording because now he just let you.
I literally was about to say, and then it was like, oh, hang on, brain farting.
Then it was, here comes the berating.
Yep. Right. So, welcome to Missing Ingredients. So, each of you has received a message to with an address and time, a matrix address. So, what do you do, starting with Rose?
Well, as it's a matrix meet, she has probably got some kind of. I kind of imagine her at a spa, just kind of living it up. Because why not?
Why not?
Probably has some ridiculously muscular troll, or not troll. I'm sorry, orc. You got to get the right size hands to your body.
Of course.
Giving her some kind of massage. Maybe would have sprung for the masseuse adept, but you know that depends upon whether or not he's booked up.
He is not booked up. You can have the masseuse adept.
Yes.
Good job.
You can be nice and pummeled.
Yeah, no, that's all she's doing. Since it's a matrix, I mean, she doesn't have to drive anywhere or even do her makeup or any of that stuff.
Cool. Well, basically, you get offered a mark when you type in the address.
Yep, she'll take it.
And obviously, you get marked in return. And you enter the host. Wake.
Wake will be in one of her vehicles, probably the Comet, with instructions to drive it around somewhere with low noise and would jack in as her car moves around, like so.
Okay. Same thing. You get offered a mark when you hit the address.
Yes, she'd accept it.
Okay, and in you go. Corona.
Yeah, Corona is probably enjoying the view to the Bridal State Park, and is just sitting in her living room watching through the window outside. And yeah, then she will probably plug in.
Okay, same. Offered a mark. If so, you're aware. If you get offered a mark by a host, if you accept it, they automatically get a mark on you. Just so you know how these things work.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it. I could try to hack it, but that would be the worst idea.
How many marks do you need to locate the icon?
1.
Yeah.
So they can trace you.
Trace icon
No,
is
trace
2.
2. Trace icon is 2.
They can automatically spot you, and they get your general area, but not like your local GPS coordinates, unless you're the owner of something.
And old timer.
Old timer probably just at home, jacks in and heads there. I guess I can't really think too much. What's the host? Do we know anything about it? Is it like obvious, or do I have to do a computer skill check to know anything?
You wouldn't know anything about the host.
Okay.
It's just one of these random private hosting private conversation hosting sites.
Yeah, I'll just go in, I guess. I'll take the mark, I guess, is what everyone's been doing.
And Neon.
So Neon's going to be at Soybox in AR, and she's going to go to the Matrix address from there.
Not a problem. And again, you're offered a mark.
Yep, I take it.
Perfect. So, entering the host, It is sculpted to look like a early 20th century English manor house. And entering in, you enter into a dining room with a large, long dining table all laid out with cut glass crystal cut glasses, silver cutlery, and there is a gentleman sat at the table in all his finery, in the full proper evening wear, and he invites you to sit down.
In the style of the host that we're in, Neon's going to change her persona to alter it to have like a big, like foofy Victorian dress. And then sit down.
Not a problem.
Oh God.
I got one hit on a Mr. Johnson's roll. I'm assuming that I know nothing about who this person might be.
I was just responding to you.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll let you respond. Okay.
Sorry, I was just in the process of typing it as listening to people.
No, that's fine.
Not a problem. So, yeah, basically, he invites you all to sit down, and once as everyone sits down,
Started a fashion party.
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
Rose will take the seat that is directly appropriate from where the host is going to sit. Be that at the end of what I hope is only a 15-meter long table.
So the host is he is sat at the far end of the table, and then yes, it is about 15 meters long, and there are seats running down either side.
Does the chair automatically pull itself out as I approach it, or do I have to get one of the other minions to do it for me?
No, as you approach a chair, a butler appears from almost nowhere. Suddenly, as if by magic, a butler appears, and the chair is pulled out.
Excellent. Rose finds this appealing.
And the same as all those who are who walk towards a seat, as if by magic, a butler appears and pulls the chair out for you.
Awesome. Yes, Wake will take a seat as well.
So, and once everyone is sat, Sinclair is he goes, oh, good evening. It's so nice of you all to join me, and I'm glad that I seem to have chosen such a good-looking group of people. So, the job that I have is really quite simple. My client wishes to stop deliveries from happening for three stores.
How long are we talking stopping deliveries? Like permanently, or for a short amount of time, or what?
Just the weekly delivery.
Okay.
He just
so you just want it to never happen.
That delivery cannot happen to the three stores. No.
Okay.
What's the time frame for this?
So the next delivery is due in 3 days' time.
Are the
And
recipients in question all owned by the same person?
They are. They're, it's three stores, all by the same company. Yes.
is this a corp, a big corp, or littler guys?
It's not one of the bigs. It's not one of the 10.
How much is being offered?
So for stopping the deliveries, I've been authorised to offer you a total of 15,000 each, of which I can give you 2.5 up front.
It's an interesting situation. Let me ask you this: do you prefer if the deliveries no longer continue after the fact, or would you prefer business as usual after we were done?
It's not necessary for them to never resume. It's just important that they do not happen this coming week.
Excellent. And Rob is going to roll a knowledge skill real quick. So I think I have something that is super relevant here.
And does it matter if they know that they were intercepted and that this was stopped, or do you want this to be done in a way that's quiet, or does it matter?
In terms of it the important thing is that they do not receive the goods that are due to be delivered. My client would prefer it to be a mystery.
So, with 5 hits on a food service roll, because I feel like it might be one of her more appropriate knowledge skills, do I know if there are, say, 3 or 4 restaurants that are having a big event this weekend?
You do not. I mean, there are definitely several restaurants that are having big events over the weekend.
I mean, it is Independence Day weekend.
There are not any that you're aware of that would be having events taking place after the point of the delivery.
Okay. You said that 3 days was the time that they needed to not receive it. Is it okay if they receive it on, say, the 4th day?
No. This delivery is not to ever be received. The future deliveries are not a problem, but this delivery is to not ever be received.
So Rose will get a thoughtful look for a second as Hernando, the masseuse adept, really starts working some muscle cluster somewhere to give people a chance to ask any other questions without her being a bitch about it.
Can you tell us what these deliveries contain?
Once you accept the job, of course.
Fair enough.
Are we dealing with one delivery truck, or is it multiple, or is it different companies that will deliver?
Again, the specifics will be given once you accept the job. But I will confirm that it is one company.
Do these vehicles often get attacked? What kind of response are we looking at?
Again, I mean, this is all specifics that would be if you accept the job.
What I want to know is how dangerous this is going to be.
It is not going to be dangerous at all, my dear. I already have a couple of plans in mind for how this can be pulled off fairly non-violently, let's say. I assume that is to Mr. Johnson's
Do I
delight.
do I recognize Rose's persona?
Probably not. She's the kind of person that owns many comlinks.
Okay.
So I imagine each of her comlinks would have a different
Can
persona.
I-
This is,
Can I do it like judge intentions or something to recognize that it's her? I mean,
I, that's up to Mr. GM on how he would like to resolve that. I could roll something. I don't know. I don't feel like.
yeah, I mean, I don't know either.
I mean, it's difficult because I mean, how much interaction have you really had with Rose previously? If you've
we
done
did an
one
entire run together.
If you've
Yeah.
done a run, you might be able to recognise speech patterns and such like if Rose is not trying to portray herself differently. If Rose
Well,
is,
assuming they have con codes, wouldn't it be obvious that way?
Well,
Different phones.
she says that she's using a different phone.
Ah,
Yeah.
bear in mind, most people burn a phone after most jobs and replace them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she has a Caliban that she never uses for calls. All it does is protects her gear because it has that delicious 7 firewall.
Yep.
But
Everything else.
she will never, unless it is the last phone that she has in her purse, in her possession, use that for anything to interact with other people. Just like she has a Nixdorf secretariat thing, which is never part of her pan, and is set up to simply just make sure that she does not get marked, like unbeknownst to her. So like, she would be using probably like a Renraku Sensei or something like mid-range phone.
So the point is, can I roll anything to tell that it's her?
Yeah, I mean you
Okay.
can. Let's have a. You've spent the entire run with her. Let's have a memory check to see if
Okay.
you can recognise the sort of speech patterns and such like.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. I would suggest that as Rose hasn't said that she's trying to be different to normal, that with 4 successes, you definitely get the feeling that you've interacted with this person before.
And it was recent, so.
And if it was recent, then, yep, it's Rose.
So she will continue with a. However, there are a couple of, let's call it incidentals, that I am moderately concerned of. There's several different places you want to take. I am slightly worried that it'll involve multiple different companies, which only makes things slightly more complicated. If it is a singular fountain that we could turn off, that is one thing. And as we cannot know for sure, as you are withholding that information, as is your right as Mr. Johnson, to a group of people who have not quite fully bought into your offer, that is well within your right to withhold. However, our concerns at the moment are that if it is significantly more difficult, we don't want to be roped in on a lower amount. As such, perhaps a bit of a compromise. Let's say we get this done for you without making any big splashes. It means, no shooting people, no trail of bodies throughout the greater Seattle area. And we discuss the financial offers.
I mean, obviously, I could be, if you are able to deliver upon such words, then I would be happy to discuss such things. So, why don't we? I would be happy to say that if you were able to do it without making a big splash, and that we could actually go and increase the final overall payments to 18,000 per person.
Do you want a negotiation roll in there somewhere?
No, he's quite happy to offer 18,000. If you want to try and push it beyond that, that's 18,000 on the understanding that there isn't a big splash and trails of bodies and shootings going on, which is what you've offered.
She would push for slightly more upfront as a operating cost. She is a little lower on the funds than she would like to be at the moment.
Okay, by all means, make a negotiation roll to try and increase
God.
the. Are you happy with that level of success?
Fernando, what have you done?
Oh dear.
This looks better.
That would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me just reset my edge pools and stuff here. As Fernando is, he's just. There's a reason you pay the extra to get the masseuse adept. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Wow.
I fully understand that you are good, and why don't we say as if providing you deliver upon your promise of no bodies sprayed everywhere and huge explosions, so say we can push it out to 18,000, and I can round up the upfront to 3.
She hangs there for a moment, which is slightly uncharacteristic, and then we'll come out with him. That sounds more than accommodating, Mr. Johnson. I look forward to reading the details.
Of course, and is everyone else in? I take it that you speak for everyone?
She will simply nod, not waiting for people to acclimate yes or no.
Fine.
Okay, I guess, yeah.
Old timers, Icon just shrugs, I guess. Persona or whatever.
So it's as I said, it's not particularly complicated. My client wishes the downtown and Tacoma and Renton branches of Gourmet Counterculture to not receive their deliveries on Tuesday morning.
It was downtown Tacoma and
Renton.
Renton.
And who is the company again?
Gourmet Counterculture.
Okay.
GCC.
What exactly is being delivered?
It's various fresh produce for that they use to make their sandwiches.
Is there anything special about this produce? Anything like that we might need to know about?
Not that I am aware of, other than it is all real.
Is it explosive?
It's food, I suppose. There might be some chilies involved. But I really am not expecting anything that really goes bang. As I said,
Good.
it's just literally the deliveries of the fresh, all the fresh local all the fresh produce. They are all being delivered from by. Sorry. Apologies, throat just seized up. By Speedy Deliveries. There's a independent delivery franchise.
Do you know if they're being all delivered from the same place, or?
Unfortunately, I am not fully cognizant of that. I mean, I believe that it is quite like.
That's fine. It's what you pay us for.
Rose will kind of roll her shoulders back in the digital chair, and look around to everybody else. It's like, well, I believe we have some work to do, and then we'll wait to see if I think it's that the host is supposed to stand first or the guest. I don't know. She has way more etiquette than I do, so.
Yes. So once you have all, if there are no further questions, he slides a virtual cred stick into the center of the table, and alongside that, a data chip, and as the butlers suddenly all appear behind each of you, and plates with silver cloches all appear in front of you. All suddenly appear in front of you, and in unison, the butlers lift up, and you can see on the plate there is a display to an escrow account holding a total of 15,000 per person.
Rose appreciates the grandiose flourish.
With that, Sinclair nods and stands, and I have, if you have no further questions for me, I must be on my way. You are welcome to continue and use the room for another hour if you so choose.
Thank you very much, but I believe that won't be necessary as we have to get to work rather quickly. I've already made an appointment that I must see to towards facilitating your task.
Best not to spend too much time on someone else's like shady host, anyways.
Yeah, but you gotta make it sound like you're getting on with it, as it were. Like,
Yeah.
not saying no, we don't trust your horribly illegal thing that we're doing to talk about our horribly illegal plans.
Wow.
No, we are so busy that we must get to work.
No, that was intended to be out of character. No worries.
I know.
The old timers staying quiet.
Yeah.
I was just blowing it out of proportion. That's all. And with that, Rose will log out of the host and make mention over D&I that, all right, I'm gonna get started on my end. I'll talk to you guys in about 45 minutes, and then she will. Go ahead.
D&I. So, do we want to meet up anywhere to talk about this, or?
Would Rose care to let us know what she's doing?
I have an appointment with somebody that I know that I will let you guys know the results of that as soon as I have some.
Well, we can try and arrange
wonderfully
some sort of
informative.
meeting space. We can just get a some sort of room, either renting like a hotel out or something, or literally just if we have a contact who can get us a back room somewhere. We can also just meet in the car or something.
Sure. You guys find a place. I will meet you there in about 45 minutes.
Do you have a place in mind?
I do.
Timer?
You guys could meet near Gourmet Countercultures in Renton. Find a noodle shop. Get some noodles. Check the place out from the outside. If you excuse me, my appointment is getting slightly impatient, as she will then leave her comlink on to catch the various notes, but she will then remove her trodes and allow Hernando to finish his work uninterrupted.
Okay, old timer heads off the Matrix and goes to get his gear ready. And get in the vehicle, get in the car.
Okay, not a problem. Corona, there is a speedy delivery matrix page. It is just literally list that they are a specialist delivery service based in Seattle.
Are there like an impression of the company locations and stuff? Maybe.
No. It just is literally. It has that, and it has a
Address.
contact address as like an email address.
Perhaps Neon, our decker, could get on with this.
What? Sorry, I was kind of zoned out.
We need to find the location of delivery services.
That's what I was actually doing right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to drop into hot sim real quick, or actually no, I'm just gonna drop into cold sim so that I don't get any negatives. I'm not running silent or anything.
Okay. Do you get several different addresses?
Okay, I ping one to everyone and then hop into my car and grid guide it to go there. And I DNI to tell everyone, okay, we're going and getting ramen, guys.
What is the skill to do a matrix search?
So
Computer plus intuition.
is computer plus intuition, and obviously if you have the specialty in matrix search.
So do we know the name of the delivery company that they were using?
You do? Speedy delivery.
And could I search to see if there are any like warehouses or depots of speedy delivery in Seattle?
You can.
I'll be defaulting on this thing.
So it's intuition -1.
I do have area knowledge Seattle if that might help. That's what's being rolled, right? Basically.
And yeah, I can also roll area knowledge as well, if that would be appropriate.
You can try area knowledge. I mean, area knowledge is more, it's more general than that as usual. But certainly, you might know with a high enough number of successes.
If I have a Mapsoft on my comlink, does it work like with Google Maps? I can just enter like an address like looking for speedy delivery, and if there's something, they will point with a needle on it.
If they have been registered on the Mapsoft,
Okay.
yes.
I will try it.
So speedy delivery is where are we? So speedy delivery have a couple of warehouses. They have a warehouse down in Auburn, and they have a warehouse to the north in Snohomish.
And where were the places that we have to intercept deliveries for?
So the deliveries are the Gourmet Counterculture branch in downtown, a branch in Tacoma, and a branch in Renton. You have the specific branches on the data chip.
I'm going to make a bet here that those deliveries are all coming from the Auburn Speedy Delivery Warehouse. There's a potential that the downtown one's coming from Snohomish, but I don't think it's likely.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
Auburn spelled with an A.
Yeah, I just looked it up. And an E. Yeah. So. Haha.
Someone's clicking.
So they have various smaller depots located all over, but their main sort of distribution hubs are Snohomish and Auburn.
Okay, so yeah, I'll set my. I'll drive to the indicated noodle place.
Okay, and whereabouts are you coming from?
Downtown.
So you're downtown in Tarentum, not a problem at all. It'll take a bit of time, but not a problem at all. Anything else that people are doing, or are you all just heading to the noodle shop that Neon has indicated?
No,
Old timer's just heading there.
I am simply waiting for my massage to finish.
Yep. Down old timer, where are you coming from?
Redmond, I also leave my forbidden drone behind for now, so
Okay, so
I have
you're
the smuggling compartment, but
you're coming from the Barrens. Let's just have an edge roll as you go through border check.
okay.
You get stopped, you get asked, you get looked over, but you just they scan you in, everything's fine, and yep, you move on.
Alrighty.
No real thing. I mean, you are human. You're not, so you know you've got that working for you. And yep, so that's fine. Corona, where are you coming from?
Bellevue.
Again, not a problem. You carry on down through. We'll again take you probably about half an hour. You get there slightly before Wake will, and a little sooner than Old Timer will. And Neon is in the area anyway. So jumping forward, your massage is now over, and people
feel great about
are
that.
slowly arriving at the noodle shop where Neon is waiting.
So, about 46 minutes later, after Rose has thanked Hernando very much so and tries to schedule another appointment, she will data dump people the stuff that she learned in her appointment, which Roll20's formatting is not great, so I will fix this in just a second.
Yes, it's a joy, isn't it, when you start trying to copy and paste stuff.
Can you in Roll20 like have multiple lines of text in one text box somehow?
Yeah.
How?
You just gotta use enter.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for me. It deselects or it erases all the text in the.
No, it looks like it does because it only shows us.
Oh, okay. That's what it.
It only
Okay.
shows a single line when you're typing. When you then
I
drop
feel
out
like
of it,
the biggest idiot in the world right now.
It's right. It's made better because you're playing a computer-oriented character in that situation.
yes, yeah. But
I mean,
no,
I also feel stupid because I'm like a computer person in real life.
but I did the same thing. I kept sitting there going, it keeps deleting every time I press enter. And then I dropped out and I went, oh, that's why.
Yeah, okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Not a problem.
So Rose will put back on her trodes and such and get the update from the team from reading off of her comlink the stuff that has been discussed so far. It's like, well, this looks like a pretty cut and dry thing. We'll need a little bit of information. Most importantly, what they're actually getting ordered in that day and from which location. But after that, it sounds like an accidental computer glitch made sure that the right places got the wrong stuff.
Well, we do need to make sure it doesn't arrive ever.
Yeah, I mean, if we can change the arrival point.
We can get it delivered somewhere else, and then we deal with it there.
Yeah.
Or well, it depends upon what it is. If you are going and saying ordering a entire delivery truck full of vegetables and you get a delivery truck that shows up at your door full of meat, well, that was clearly just a clerical accident within their computer systems. Probably the fault of a technomancer, I'm sure they'll say. But they did not get their delivery, and whatever event that they had going on is a lot less suspect than, say, known delivery guy who I'm sure delivers the same route fairly regularly, or at least a small selection of them, not showing up. I'm sure that this is great because Rob has spent a lot of time in the actual food service industry, so he's going to drop giant knowledge bombs here.
That's all right. Dan has spent an awful lot of time in the food service industry as well.
Excellent. So he will know that all of this is truth. Typically, if it is from a large company, you will have between 1 and 3 people who take that route just because days off, requested off. You'll get the every once in a while. You will have an oddball person that comes by just because of somebody calling out or something else crazy going on. The manager of said location will most likely have the top 1 or 2 delivery guys that hit their route have their personal cell phone numbers. So, say he drops off something or does not drop off something and is running late, not only will the business get called, but the person himself will get called, like from the manager, which will then do things. But if we can get into the delivery place's computer system and change it so that their order is completely different, they will get an order which they will not be able to do whatever it is they're trying to do, as well as cause a giant mess because now you have different, what will turn into 6 different places because we will send downtown Tacoma and Renton to 3 other places, and then it makes it look like a much larger computer random problem than this guy's 3 restaurants were targeted.
Why don't we just not even send them food?
Because that's more suspicious, but that's all after we find out what they have ordered. Because then we can do more things to them.
But I have to give you a point there, but I mean about the real delivery. Our customer said we should get rid of it for good. So if it won't get delivered anywhere, we still have to get rid of it.
We could get it delivered to us somehow.
That becomes a little bit more detail-oriented once we get into their computer and find out what possible places. Because if we can get them on different routes, we can get them sent to different places. We could potentially find out one of the other restaurants on a different route and make good with that restaurant owner of, hey, we're going to send the shit food you usually get to them, and their order of nice food is going to come to you, and all you need to do is put it away and act like you didn't know that it was a mistake. Maybe get their assistant manager who doesn't do the actual food orders. So he just receives the product in and then begins to disperse it around the restaurant as per what they would normally do with their orders for the day.
Hmm.
I mean, seems like a good plan. So, but
It
you're
hinges
right.
on getting those orders changed, though.
Well, it's
Yeah.
a good thing we have
Yeah.
you to rely on then, isn't it?
I certainly hope so.
That's
It-
not what I wanted to hear.
The one point that I'm going to make here is it's all depending on how secure the computer systems are over at Speedy Delivery.
I mean,
Until
it's a delivery
I have-
company.
Hopefully, then it shouldn't be that much. But if for some reason I see some crazy dreck there, until I know about how strong their security systems are, I can't make you a completely solid guarantee.
So with 2 hits on a matrix perception test, what is the rating of Speedy Delivery's host?
It is a rating 4 host.
Well, you folks have had about 47 minutes by my count since we last spoke in depth, so... And then she's going to leave that hang with a little bit of a... Wonderful. So, she
I
will...
mean, sorry,
Yes.
go on. No, go on.
The brief look that I just did here on my comlink in about 0.3 of a second tells me that it is a... And then she will say the... I imagine that in the 6th world they don't say that is a rating for host, but they would say something about it that
Yes.
you would infer what its rating
Wait, why
is.
wouldn't they say that it's a rating 4 host? I mean, it seems like technical terminology enough.
Yeah, well, it's similar to the idea of like magicians and magic. It was like I cast a force aid
different.
spell.
Like, no, but magic's not like as quantifiable of a thing as technology is.
I
Like,
mean, from what I remember reading in the book, they even have essence quantified. So I think hosts honestly would be.
She would say whatever is appropriate.
yeah, okay, whatever. And Neon gets the idea.
All right, so guess we're at this ramen shop now.
Yep.
Yep. Well, you're all there apart from Rose. Or you're all getting there apart from Rose currently.
Yeah, as soon as I arrive, I'll probably order a box of noodles.
Before I arrive, old timer, yeah, it would have been just looking at their, I guess their Matrix host or site or whatever, just to see, making sure they have non-soy options, so he doesn't end up all weird and puffy for this run.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Have you?
Let's have an edge roll to see if they have because nothing was specified by Neon about it needing to be non-soy.
Yeah, I probably should have piped in and been like, oh, my allergies, though. Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Neon
Yeah,
likes soy food.
Neon
So,
did select a noodle shop that does list it lists what all ingredients are for with allergens. So yes, they do use soy. It's a noodle shop. So there's always lots of soy in most of that stuff, but it is listed, and on their website you can see that there are various little symbols to show whether something is gluten-free, soy-free, and so on.
So,
And yes, you will actually be buying it if you want it specifically non-soy.
I mean, if they have it, I will buy it, because same problem here. I want to get scratchy and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, to have non-soy at the noodle shop will cost you 50 new yen.
Okay. Worth it.
So, as I say, you've all arrived. Rose has now left. She's not able to get a booking currently with Hernando, but he will see what he can do in terms of
Bullshit.
schedule opens.
She won't obviously freak out about it being bullshit that she can't get another appointment, but she will perhaps arrange an accident that somebody has to cancel their appointment and he can fit her in miraculously. But she gets what she wants.
He's a busy guy. He's popular.
Yeah, he's great.
He's so great, he made you forget all about negotiating.
Yeah, no, she definitely was like, whoa, hold on 1 second, Hernando. Is Rose heading in the direction of the noodle shop? No, Rose is heading the matchstick. She's got other things to do today.
That's fine. Just so I know. Right, so everyone has made it to the noodle shop, with the exception of Rose.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying my noodles, and then I will look to the others. So, want some too? They are not bad. Nobody?
Yeah, Wake will get her soy noodles and have a snack. As long as there are no dwarves present.
I don't know. Not me.
There are currently
Yeah.
no dwarves present.
Oh god. Is the cook a dwarf?
Somebody have dwarf racism on their freaking qualities? We have any filthy dwarf racists around here? Gee.
She's not racist.
just completely unfounded fear and horror.
And she's just the wicked witch.
Sorry, you. I'm not okay. Just
little people.
phobia dwarves, man. Okay.
But the circus
that
is coming to
description.
town.
I mean, when the rest arrive, except for Rose, I guess. I will ask. So, should we check out the route, or at least?
Well, as he's starting to talk, I will kind of like make a hand motion to kind of tell him to stop, and I will start talking about normal wage slave things and like my day at work and
Okay.
DNI him.
Oh,
Talking over DNI.
okay. Okay, then I will talk about DNI then. So should we check out that delivery service places? Get a look around. Get some feeling for the routes, maybe, or at least some more information from the website. Cause honestly, I looked it up, but this website is like really blank, only an address.
Yep. Can
I've got my flash, so I can send one in.
Can I do a matrix search to see when these guys get deliveries, or am I going to need to do some host diving for that?
That would need you'd need to do host diving for that.
Okay.
Because that is obviously specific to the company and would therefore be on their hosts rather than just general in the matrix.
How far are we from the warehouse, approximately?
Oh, which warehouse?
Oh, it's multiple warehouses. Okay.
So there's a warehouse in the south in Auburn that you have found out about. So a hub in the south in Auburn, and a hub in the north in Snohomish, and you are currently in Renton.
Pull that map up, I suppose.
And you're in Renton, not far from the Federated Boeing. You're sort of halfway between Renton and Federated Boeing.
Just real quick off the top of my head, are these all CE zones?
No. So Renton is AA. The Tacoma one is a B, and downtown is a AA. Or are you talking about the warehouses?
Both.
So the warehouses, the hub is the Auburn hub is a B, and the Snohomish hub is, let me just double check so I don't lie to you, is also a, no, the Snohomish hub is a C.
And did we find out who owns the GCC? Like they're independent.
Whoever
right?
write in the notes, like for Auburn, I don't have access to that.
So it's a floated company.
Okay.
So currently it is an independent rating B corporation.
Anybody operate out of that area? Of the warehouses?
Right. Organised crime. Sorry, yes. So there's not really major crime operating out of the area of the warehouses. Certainly, there isn't a single syndicate that is controlling either of the hub locations that you are aware of. There are obviously the odd talks about the Finnegans did this, or the Yellow Lotus did this, and so on. But there is nothing that would be there's no sort of dedicated syndicate ownership that you're aware of in that area.
So you before I decide whether or not I'm edging this role, you said the Finnegans have been talked about working out of that area?
So again, it's like the street rumor that the Finnegans did this, the GNA did that, and so on. But there isn't a specific. There's no, and with that role, you're aware that this is not an area that the Finnegans really play any major role in. They occasionally might do some knocking off of the warehouses and what have you, but they're not syndicate controlled.
Okay, versus a secondary plan that could be great. So with 4 hits on an organized crime mafia specialization, what are the Finnegans into?
So the Finnegans are into. They've been trying to muscle in more recently on more action in and around the Tacoma docks, which have been predominantly triad run recently, and they feel very much that they are missing out on a traditional income stream. So they've been focusing quite heavily on trying to subvert some of that income stream back into themselves. Other than that, their biggest income streams are obviously the various unions for construction and garbage, and that's where they get the vast majority of their current income. The Finnegans.
And then what do the? I'm sorry, if you had more, please.
No, I was moving on to the triads.
Okay.
And for my question, the corporate specialization for.
Sorry. No.
Okay.
The corporate specialization wouldn't apply. So the triads, what is it you want to know about the triads?
So with their, what did they deal in?
The triads are predominantly people smuggling, prostitution and bum racket parlors, and drugs.
What kind of
And
drugs?
protection money. So they're very, very big on their current biggest one is whatever the awakened heroin is. It's just slipped from my head. It's just slipped from my head. Crimson Orchid. So Crimson Orchid and Bliss are the two that they're really sort of the triads are moving the vast majority of, along with obviously standard triad protection throughout the Tacoma area, and as I say, people smuggling and the bum raccoon parlors and prostitution.
Wonderful. Rose has a better plan now.
So, Neon, in terms of security design, deliveries would most likely be secured just if it's normal. A normal standard delivery would be just locked in the back of the van. Van would only be accessible by the driver. If there is a driver, some companies have gone to grid-link and anthropomorphic drones to do deliveries, as they don't ever need to take a break or be paid. So the initial investment is made back quite rapidly.
I have a matrix search to do off of that.
Individual items will always be tagged. I mean, everything in Shadow, everything in the sixth world that you buy legitimately is tagged.
Is anyone here chemically inclined?
So what do you want to know about recreational drugs bliss?
So, Rose has a grand scheme, which will be fantastic.
Oh god.
No, you ready for this? It's gonna be great.
Is it involving dragging and screaming?
No, it is so much easier than that, and it does a number of things that are Rose's idea here. One, we are going to start spreading some rumors that the Finnegans is trying to set up the triads for a little bit of a fall. We get ourselves some fistfuls of bliss, like a pretty sizable amount. We go in the night before the delivery, and we stash bliss in some of the delivery trucks. We make it look like a drug smuggling operation is working out of there. We spray some of the food because it's an inhalation thing, so we can just kind of like spritz it into the air so it kind of lands on some of the stuff. We let the trucks roll out after making sure the cops are well aware that there is a probable drug chain, and they could, in a pair of double A's and a B zone, make a pretty big bust.
That
do
is
you
a
tell us
great
that,
plan.
How much
I mean,
bliss are we going to have to buy?
Well, That's where that drugs recreational comes in. Uh, Mr. GM, do you have an idea?
Of how much bliss you need to make it a major bust.
It doesn't need to be a major bust. It needs to be big
It
enough
just needs to be a bust.
that the cops are going to want to, one, they're going to want to investigate, especially going into the higher traffic areas. Two, that they're going to pull over all of these different cars that day, or maybe even hit them before they leave from the depot. And it needs to be enough that we could realistically, like, aerosol can spray them into, say, the backs of the trucks or into the warehouse over top of the stuff.
I mean, is it not like the delivery companies have like special contracts so they don't get stopped at the borders and stuff?
Well, they can get stopped at any point in time while they're on the road. While they're not on their own property, like, yeah.
This is a B-rated corporation. As such, they do not have extraterritoriality. So
okay.
They don't have any of that super special protection. They may have contracts and details with certain people to do certain different things as far as border crossings and stuff. Like, they probably have a contract with, like, if they also deliver to, say, an Aztec corporation, or like they do Stuffer Shack deliveries, they probably have a security contract with them. However, we don't need to worry about that because we're not going anywhere. We are going to a couple of buildings, and we are seeding the place with bliss.
I mean, I like the plan. Just want to point out what could maybe be the problems with it.
And I imagine once those things get impounded, no one's going to be seeing them ever again.
So use a common sense on that to find out if that is a ridiculous amount of bliss.
You can indeed use common sense. I mean, in order for it to actually lead to there being enough to trigger whatever, you're probably going to need somewhere in the region of between 400 and 500 units of bliss in each of the trucks.
So here's the thing: they don't need to actually find bliss in all the trucks. They just need to find enough bliss in a single truck that it makes it seem like this was legit information, and enough trace elements from a couple of poppers of bliss that we have sprayed over other buildings, or like over the building and over a couple of the trucks, or it needs to be more than enough trace cocaine is on American dollar bills.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, if you just go trace cocaine on American dollar bills, every one of you is going to be in jail who lives in America.
Right. Well, ideally, I don't want to shut the place down. I want to severely inconvenience them for a day. Maybe get one or two guys arrested until they get some analyzed truth going on to find out that they don't actually know anything about this drug dealing.
So in terms of it, I mean, if you're going to go for a single truck plus enough trace, I would say you're probably going to need somewhere in the region of 200 units. So there's enough in there to make it, yes, there is definitely smuggling going on, and then also the rest then spread about so there's enough trace level to suggest that the trucks have been used in the past.
We're looking at 3,000 new yen to buy 200 hits of bliss.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
No.
Bliss is not expensive.
When you said Crimson Orchid before bliss, I was like, ugh.
Crimson Orchid runs at like
300.
Yeah, 300 a pop, but it's fun, wonderful stuff.
So what we need to do is find out if these three places are all getting it from the same depot, because then we just need to seed that depot. I can arrange to make sure that the Finnegans get implicated, and hopefully that this'll, to make it look like the
Gourmet counterculture was the one who was facilitating it.
I think my plan was that the Finnegans were using them to which I'm sorry, I have it in my straight in my head now. That the triads were using them to distribute stuff, but the Finnegans are the ones that tipped off the cops.
Okay. Okay.
Now that I had to get my names right in my head. So if we can find, when we go in there to check out the delivery routes and stuff, if we can find one of them that has I'm going to use the wonderful sixth world racism here for a person that has a triad/Chinese affiliated name, and we seed their truck.
Wow.
Okay.
Or we take the dwarf. Just take the dwarf.
There will be no dwarves in this plan.
Really?
There's no dwarves in this plan yet. If we need to get into a small spot in the building, Rose may go find a dwarf or a child and conscript them. But does anybody have questions that we can answer about this idea of a plan that we have at the moment?
So we're going to have to find out basically how to break into this facility, where the trucks are located.
Well, that'll be really easy. The trucks will be located in wherever they park, because I'm sure somewhere somebody here has a fly spy drone that they can give a quick buzz over the place, and then we will see a giant parking lot where they would have trucks.
Can I do a quick Moogle Maps to look at a satellite map and see if there's like a parking lot outside these buildings or whatever?
Yes. Yep, you can do a matrix search on that.
I believe we got a pair of fly spies actually, because 2 of us have them.
Yes.
I mean, that's the plan is good, but what is if one of the trucks arrives? If it's multiple trucks and one arrives at the target, I mean, is it then too late?
We're not going to be sitting on our feet here, resting on our laurels. As great a plan as my plan may be, we can easily do any number of things. For example, once we find out which truck is going from which place to which other place, we could work angles along the lines of swiping stuff off the back of a truck while it unloads at some other place. Get the driver, perhaps even inject the driver with some bliss. So it looks like he's, makes a delivery at this place, pulls off somewhere on the highway to, run to the bathroom or something along those lines. And in the bathroom, he is found later on with a pocket full of bliss and high as a kite.
I mean, I do like capsule rounds. It's a pretty good way to just make sure somebody's high out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We have a couple of other options available to us that I would rather not get into, just because the way that the plan is laid out, once we seed, nothing comes back on us. Because if we can get the rumors out there through some organized crime people about the Finnegans ratting out the triads, granted, the triads know that this isn't their operation. However, it could still be seeded as the Finnegans are trying to push more attention onto them by, what is 3,000 Nuyen and a little bit of headache to an organized crime family. If it puts more of a spotlight on the triads and their drug dealing, and more importantly, we don't have to expose ourselves because we will be getting the star to work for us. Or, I'm sorry, the pawns to look for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the plan. I'm thinking about things I can argue, but I don't. I think I don't have anymore.
So long as somebody is sneaky and has a little bit of automotive knowledge, to get people into the presumed parking garage, and maybe if you know of a place where in the car we could stash said payload, I mean, it's got to be
Speaking
somewhere
of that,
God.
what do you guys all even do?
Didn't look at the sheets? Jeez.
I mean, that was in character. And out of
Okay.
character, no, I haven't looked at your sheets.
Oh, I have everybody's sheet up. I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
And
I don't do that.
Very bad people.
You're a
Yeah.
very
Basic
bad
game.
person.
Rose doesn't care what
Very,
you do,
very
so
bad.
long as you do what she
Nefarious
does.
metagaming.
I mean, I will say, I mean, I'm here for if things go wrong and we have to fight our way out, and at that point probably out of my, it looks mostly like normal feet, but out of it there come climbing claws basically. If need be, I can try to infiltrate the facility and maybe get a look at these trucks.
All right, we've got our inside man.
Yeah, Old Timer is a drone rigger. He says that he specializes in combat most, but obviously it's not quite applicable. If things do get messy, then that should be fine. But otherwise, has a fly spy, has a bunch of other drones that can all go pretty quiet as well. If we need to actually plant things and we want to use infiltration for that, I really want to put a drone arm on my roto drone, so that might be a good way to do that.
You really want to do a what on a what?
Drone arm on my roto drone on my MPD. Want to have sweet arms so I can put any damn weapon I want on that thing. It'd be a good time.
Like it's holding a rocket launcher with 2 arms.
Yeah, I believe it's allowed.
Yeah. I mean,
If I can have one on there.
I don't see why not. It would be
My
funny,
plan
but
It's also not illegal, which is nice.
I mean, the rocket launcher is probably, but
The rocket launcher would be, but I mean, compared to a forbidden weapon mount,
yeah, that's true.
the arms also I could be like, oh, well, these are just for precision repairs and stuff, and getting out of way spots. I mean, it makes pretty good sense for my character just saying that they're an actual professional rigger. So
Wake is a vehicle rigger and a wheel woman. She's also a pretty good getaway driver. Killed
How
the
many-
conversation. Oh yeah.
how many
Oh,
people does your car seat?
Sorry.
How many people does your car seat?
One will seat 4, one will seat 3.
Okay.
What kind of car do you have?
The current one she's got is the Mercury Comet, but she has a dynamite if it's needed.
Old Timer's got a hauler, which is basically a blocky SUV that's frequently used as like a small time kind of delivery vehicle.
Yeah, she's into big flashy cars.
No, that's fine. Rose was actually genuinely curious because she might have another plan for you.
I mean, I have a car too if need be for another one. Just saying.
What kind of car?
There's nobody's taking the freaking train.
A Chameleon, GMC Chameleon.
Okay.
Like the car that I think gets the most time stolen or something.
No, that's
Or
fine.
chameleon.
Does not fit one of 2 options that Rose was looking for as far as
Okay.
as cars.
What were the options she was looking for?
Honda Artemis or I forget what the other one was. Hold on.
Why those in particular?
Yeah, I like it. That Rose has plans for a specific vehicle. Like, if we have that vehicle, we can do the plan.
Last run Rose was on, Rose wanted to deck a car out as a KE cruiser.
Okay, so we've been going for almost an hour and a half. So I'm going to say we'll take a break at this point and come back at 1:45, so that's 7 minutes from now.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.